They're off in the Preakness. And Journalism is out very fast, but Clever again is the quickest and will take the lead with long shot Gosger going up on the outside. So it's going to be these two to set the pace as they make that final trip past this historic grandstand. And then it's goal-oriented running in third and Hart held on the inside. And then American Promise in fourth. Journalism broke very well, but he's down on the inside moving into the turn as River Thames goes up 3 wide. Then Pay Billy Heart of Honor and late running Sandman is racing 9 lengths from the front as they round that turn. 23.19 the opening quarter mile. And that's set by Clever again. And Jose Ortiz, they're out there by a length and a half over Gosger in second. Goal Oriented is tucked in third. Then to the outside comes River Thames. American Promise, the Dwayne Lucas runner under Nick Juarez is fifth right now. 4 lengths from the front, and Umberto Rispoli has Journalism just to his inside. Now being nudged along to keep up his Journalism. Being nudged along here up the backstretch with 5 lengths to make up. Then Pay Billy, Sandman at the back with Heart of Honor. The half mile was 46.66 seconds. They make their way into the far turn. Clever again and Gosger, and these two are right together on the lead with River Thames running in third. Goal Oriented is fourth. American Promise fifth on the outside. Journalism is still sixth. He's got a lot of ground to cover. He is still 5 lengths behind as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Gosger trying to pull off a huge upset here. Has taken the lead on the outside. Clever again cuts the corner. Journalism is getting closer now. He's behind a wall of horses. He's looking for a place to go, and he's got nowhere to go. Oh, he bumped hard with Goal Oriented. In the meanwhile, Gosger's running the race of his life, and Sandman has entered the scene, and he has moved up on the far outside. Journalism is still running on. He's back into second. He might even win it. Here's the wire. Oh my goodness! Journalism has won the Preakness Stakes in a performance like you read about.
A remarkable recovery by Journalism. The heavy jostling as he tried to squeeze through 2 other horses. The heavy bumping with Goal Oriented. Able to make the late charge. Journalism second in the Derby. Journalism has its day in 2025 and wins the Preakness.
What a courageous race by Journalism. Got squeezed early, farther back than he wanted to be. Umberto Rispoli did not panic. He saved the ground in the first turn. He saved it in the second round, in the second turn. Went for a spot, turning for home. There was a crowd, but you have to do that, Mike. It was do or die at that point, and Journalism, to his credit, had enough courage to force his way through there and overcome an almost insurmountable lead by Gosger in the stretch.
There certainly will be a second look, a third look, a fourth look from the stewards. Journalism, Clever against Sandman, Goal Oriented, the unofficial under the wire. Let's watch again.
There was not only jostling here, there was some even exchanges of elbows at one point between Flavien Prat on the one horse Goal Oriented and Umberto Rispoli on Journalism, a little similar to what Journalism had to overcome to win the Santa Anita Derby. He showed such courageousness to win that. I thought he had no shot at the top of the stretch when he saw what was in front of him. But look at him accelerate and run down Gosger late.
Now, most of the jostling's already happened, but they're straightened up, and Umberto Rispoli and Journalism have a spot there. And it looks like Goal Oriented comes in on him. Flavien Prat crowds Journalism, and then in turn crowds Clever again. But Journalism would have none of it. He kept his composure, he regrouped, and Umberto Rispoli asked him for his life, and he gave it to him. Oh, what an effort by Journalism.
Let me give you the under the wire again. Journalism, Gosger, Sandman, Goal Oriented. 2-9-7-1 unofficially under the wire, but now the continued multiple looks from the stewards. This is on board Clever again.
Who was basically eased in the final 1/8 of a mile. He was just sort of an ancillary part of all that bumping, and he was already beginning to fade. So Jose Ortiz just essentially eased him in the last furlong to finish a distant last.
You think Umberto Rispoli's heart is beating fast? Here he is with Donna.
Umberto is very emotional. He just said, if this is a dream, please, nobody wake me up. Umberto, you took a leap of faith when you came here from Italy in 2020, and this was imagining the sort of thing you imagined would happen, but I think it feels pretty impactful to you.
Don, I still can't realize what this horse did today. Again, I got to travel at the quarter pole, and look, he make himself again going. I mean, it's all about him. It's all about him. It's a pleasure and privilege to ride a horse like him. I would like to say thank you. Give me 12 seconds to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to Michael McCarthy, to Aaron Wellman, La Penta, Bridlewood Farm. Colors are up today. Coolmore, my wife, my kids, my family, my brother, my mother, my father didn't teach me everything. My sponsor, Hildebrands, to support me today. It's just unbelievable. I won one of the legs of the Triple Crown and I'm crying like a kid.
There is an inquiry. Let's talk about what happened at the top of the stretch. It looks like it was a dogfight and he just fought.
I mean, I was in a tough spot. I was very in the whole spot and look, it's unbelievable.
By the way, there is no change. You are the winner.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So you've won races all over the world, two-time champion jockey in Italy, but this is your first one in a Triple Crown race. Obviously, it means a lot to you, but why?
Because, Donna, you know, when I cross the wire, the first things comes up in my mind. It's all of the 20 years of my career they pass in front of me. And I had to wait so long to be on a champion like that. But, you know, a guy that works for you, Jerry Bailey, tells me, say, when there is a chance, you take it. So it's your chance, and I do take it. Thanks, Jerry.
Well done, Umberto. I think Jerry heard you. Well done. We're going to hear from Michael McCarthy now.
Thank you so much.
Donna, thank you so much. He just said to me, I think it's fair to say that was another good effort. I think it might be a little bit better than a good effort. Michael, what did we just witness from journalism?
Yeah, a lot of bouncing around there. It looked like coming to the 3/16 pole or wherever it was. I guess when I saw that, I kind of resigned myself to the fact that it was another fantastic effort. Maybe come up a little bit short, but just goes to show the testament that this horse has. Couldn't be prouder of him. In the back of my mind, I thought we'd be 2 for 2 here, but you know what? Just happy to get one of these. They're very, very difficult races to win.
That you do. You know back in 2021 what it feels to win this race, but this year is a little bit different. It's been a tough year for you and your family, completely displaced from your home, still displaced from your home. What does it mean to share this moment with them?
Yeah, we'll get back there. Everybody will get back there. We'll rebuild. This is for Altadena. Oh, this is for Mac and Nona, too. They're not here today. My mom and dad, they weren't here last time, so they're not coming back next year either.
Final race here at Pimlico. What a special one for you. Yep. Michael, a big congratulations. Go get to your horse.
Brittany, thank you. If you weren't with us for the Derby, Michael McCarthy touching back on the story. He and his family have been living with his in-laws who live near Santa Anita for months. They were affected by the wildfires in the Southern California area in January. They did not lose their home. Many of their neighbors and friends and so many people in that racing community were affected by it. That beautiful view from Santa Anita. As you look across, you see the scars of the fires from 4 months ago, and it's an everyday thing for many of our friends in Southern California, many of the people in that horse racing community, that the emotion, in addition to winning a second one of the American Classics for Michael McCarthy, and you heard that same pouring out from Umberto Rispoli, twice a champion in Italy, ridden horses around the world, came to the U.S. full-time 6 years ago in 2019. And the man from Naples, Italy, at age 36, has now won one of the great American races.
There's always been something very different about the place they call Old Hilltop. This was the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes. It was the final running before the wrecking ball comes in next week. We don't get back here until 2028 when the race moves to Laurel. And you couldn't have had a better race, or a more dramatic one. Journalism will go down as a brilliant winner of the Preakness. The Kentucky Derby runner-up won, as the market expected him to do, as Michael McCarthy, his trainer, expected him to do, as his charismatic jockey Umberto Rispoli certainly expected him to do. But it was the manner of the victory that marked his performance out as something really special. He was nearly brought to his knees at the 3/16 pole by goal oriented on the outside under Flavien Prat, drifting alarmingly toward the rail. On the inside was a horse that many thought would be the key danger to journalism, Clever Again, and journalism was the meat in the sandwich. For many moments had nowhere to go, and by that stage Gosger, one of the outsiders for Brendan Walsh, had scooted clear and it looked his for the taking. Well, Journalism was a good enough horse to run him down. And this, of course, sets up the ultimate rematch between Sovereignty, the horse who lowered Journalism's colours in the Derby, and Journalism himself. They will now head to Saratoga for the mile and a quarter Belmont in this very unusual period, this period of flux for the Triple Crown. But we've seen two seriously good horses in the first two legs, brilliantly trained by Mott and McCarthy, circumspect masters of their trade. And you felt Umberto Rispoli's pain after the run for the Roses. You equally felt his absolute elation today. The result stood after a steward's inquiry. The fourth place horse, Goal Oriented, possibly lucky to stay in that spot, and one place behind him was Heart of Honour, the story of the race for Jamie and Saffie Osborne. What wonderful enterprise they've shown coming here to the United States. He found it happening all too fast for him. He just lacked the tactical speed after a tardy break, but Saffie kept encouraging him, and he ran on for her, in the end finishing a pretty creditable fifth. And who knows, if the Belmont had been at its traditional mile and a half, maybe he'd been a place contender for that. As it stands, he might still find a mile and a quarter at Saratoga, all unravelling a bit too fast against horses of the calibre of Sovereignty and today's winner, Journalism. This was a great race. This is a great place. It might be shabby chic now, if you like, but so many people I've spoken to today have said how much they'll miss it in its current form. They'll miss the relaxed vibe. They'll miss the chilled out sense of fun that is that counterpoint to the absolute intensity of the Kentucky Derby. And fingers crossed the new management can bring that back to Old Hilltop in 2028. As for now, we'll see the patrons here at Laurel down towards DC next year, and back for the Belmont Stakes in 3 weeks' time at Saratoga. It's all been happening. In Journalism, we've had a horse worthy of being called a classic winner.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.